Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm so excited to share with you my recipe for a chocolate angel food cake. Now, I made a traditional angel food cake here a couple years ago, but I was personally craving a chocolate angel food cake this morning, and my husband was too, and then we decided to just film it for you because it's just a great all-purpose cake recipe to have on hand because it's so good, and I personally love anything angel food cake because it's so light and fluffy. Okay, so let's go over the ingredients so we can get started. You'll need some unsweetened cocoa powder, some cake flour, instant espresso powder, granulated sugar, egg whites, some cream of tartar, salt, and vanilla extract. That's it! I know! It's one of my favorite things because it's so easy. It requires a handful of ingredients. Now, the first thing you want to do is get your oven preheated to 350. Once that's out of the way, everything else is pretty much done. What I have here are some egg whites. Now, I've got some regular egg whites, and then I also have some egg whites that you buy in a carton where it's just all egg whites, and I use a little bit of that as well because I wanted to use it up. So I'm using a combination of the two, but you can use, I prefer to use all regular fresh egg whites if I can, but I'd rather I had a little bit of it left, like a quarter cup, so I figured I might as well use it. I'm going to make this in my standing mixer fitted with a whisk attachment because, let's face it, to whip these to stiff peaks by hand is going to take a lifetime and a half, and you'll give up because it's not that easy. I'm also adding my cream of tartar and my salt at this point. I'm going to whisk my egg whites until they are light and frothy. Once your egg whites are nice and frothy, you're going to start adding your sugar, but you're going to add this just a tablespoon at a time. I know, it looks like it's a lot of work, but it's not. It isn't, let's be honest. And now what you're going to do is you're going to let this whisk until your egg whites are nice stiff peaks. It's really important that there are nice stiff peaks, otherwise your cake will not hold. So that's why doing in a standing mixer is just so easy. That is perfect. Now, please do not be discouraged. Look at that, stiff peaks. Do not be discouraged if you feel like it's not getting to the right consistency, because whipping egg whites to this consistency can take a good 10 minutes, which is how long it took me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my flour, cocoa, and instant espresso, and I'm just going to pass this through a sieve, only because, you know, sometimes the cocoa powder tends to be a bit clumpy, and the thing about this is that you want everything to be super, super smooth because it's meant to be really light and airy cake. So taking 2 seconds to pass it through a sieve like I did, you see those? You don't want clumps of that in your cake, so you just take your spatula and you pass it through and you're good to go. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my vanilla, good teaspoon and a half or so, just eyeball it, and then I'm going to add my dry ingredients in thirds because I don't want to add it all in one time. I want to do this very gently, and you want to always fold. You don't want to whisk this in, otherwise you will lose those the air from the egg whites. So just go around and then just in the center, around and in the center, and that's how you properly fold in dry ingredients into egg whites. And then just continue to do this until you have all your dry ingredients mixed in, and you'll be pretty much done. That looks gorgeous. It almost looks like a chocolate whipped cream. I want to eat it as is. Now I'm going to put this into a 10-inch tube pan, and now the important thing is, contrary to everything else we do, you do not want to grease this. It is important. Like normally you want to grease everything really, really well and make sure that the cake comes out, but in this case, you don't want to grease it. You want it ungreased, and 10-inch, and this is a non-stick as well. I'm just trying to get everything out of here, and then we will even it all out. I just don't want to waste any of this batter because then that will mean that there's less cake for me to eat. So let me get it all out of here, and then we are going to even this out. Now don't worry if you've got a little white spot from the batter that didn't get completely mixed in with the chocolate. It's fine. Think of it as like a marbled piece. It's delicious either way. Just even this out with your spatula. I think that looks good enough. I'm not quite sure I can get it any more even than this. So let's call it a day. Let's call it even. I mean, come on, that was too good. Take a knife, and I'm gonna run it around the edges. I'm even gonna run it in the center a little bit, like so. I know that sounds crazy and it looks a bit insane, but what that does is it settles any air bubbles, which is really important. You don't want any air bubbles in this. And then I'm going to flatten it out one more time just because I'm done. Okay, I'm gonna put this on a baking sheet just because it's easier to get it in and out of the oven. The oven's preheated at 350. This will go in there for about 45 minutes or so. You'll know it's ready when you touch the top and it springs back on itself. You'll know it's completely done. Then I'll show you what we do as soon as it comes out. Once your cake comes out of the oven, now you gotta put this to cool upside down. You can do one or two things, or more than that if you're craftier. You can put this upside down on a wine bottle, or you can do what I'm doing, and is I just put a couple of cans in each corner, like so. It's not as dangerous. We're not living on the edge like we would if we were putting this upside down in a wine bottle, but if you follow me on my vlog channel, you'll know I have a tendency to break things. And today, luck is just not on my side. So I'm just going to put it like this because it is just a safe thing to do. And this needs to cool completely on upside down like this. So don't touch it. Don't go anywhere near it. Let it cool completely. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's cooled. And then we can slice and eat. Belly. Now this is cooled completely. I just flipped it over. And now I'm going to take a butter knife and I'm just going to run this around the edge of the pan just to loosen things up, because remember, this has not been greased. Well, this was not greased, so you just gotta take your time and run it around to loosen things up a bit. And then also make sure you do the same thing in the center here. Just gonna take a serrated knife and cut myself a little piece. Oh, it smells really good. By the way, this entire kitchen smells amazing. Oh, look at that. It is so, I can't even describe it to you. It's just incredible. That's the marbled piece I was talking about. It's like lighter than air. And totally hits a spot. I was wanting chocolate angel fruit cake and my Nonna's ricotta lemon and my Nonna's ricotta cookies, so I made both. Because when all else fails, anything chocolate and any Nonna recipe always hits the spot. This is absolutely delicious. It's chocolatey, but yet it's not bitter or too strong. It's almost nice and subtle, but it really pops through because of the espresso powder. Go to laurainthekitchen.com to get this incredible, light and airy and delicious deliciousness over here. Get the recipe on laurainthekitchen.com. Hope you enjoy spending time with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Can you smell what Laura is cooking?